John Ross, who broke Chris Johnson's combined record with a 4.2240, fits the Brandin Cooks profile in this NFL draft. New Orleans Saints wide receiver Brandin Cooks has been one of the hottest names at the NFL scouting combine this week, prompted by the revelation that teams like the Tennessee Titans and Philadelphia Eagles are trying to tempt the Saints to trade their blazing fast archer. Receivers with Cooks' ability to blow the top off of a defense are hard to find. But there was a man in Indianapolis who fit the mold. Washington wide receiver John Ross ran his way into NFL scouting combine history with a 4.22-second 40-yard dash that broke Chris Johnson's record of 4.24 seconds and cemented his claim as next in a line of undersized, fleet-of-foot star receivers that includes Cooks, Deshaun Jackson, and T.Y. Hilton. "I love John Ross," NFL Network analyst Mike Mayock said. "His tape is great. Put the speed on top of it and all the rest. The question is going to be the medical. There's no doubting the speed or the talent." Ross told the NFL Network after the run that if he hadn't started cramping near the end, he might have gone even faster. "I got tight at the end, but it felt good coming out, so I knew it was probably going to be pretty quick," Ross said. He won't cash in on Adidas' promise of an island to any player who could break Johnson's record, namely because he chose to wear Nikes. He wasn't worried about any of that. "I really can't swim that well, and I don't own a boat," Ross told NFL Network's Michael Irvin after the run. "So I had to run in Nikes." Ross's eye-popping time in Indianapolis puts him in an even different class than Cooks, who ran a 4.33, Hilton, 4.34, or Jackson, 4.35. When he met with the media Friday, Ross played coy about making a run at Johnson's record, saying only that he planned to run somewhere in the 4.2s and shying away from making any predictions of a record-breaking performance. "I'm going to try," Ross said. "I don't want to say too much. But I'm definitely going to go for it." Ross has always been fast. So fast, in fact, that he never really needed to learn the finer points of playing wide receiver until recently. When Ross arrived at Washington, he was a big play specialist and an electric kick returner who produced 8 touchdowns in his first 2 seasons, but he only had 33 catches in his first 2 years. A relationship with Jackson helped him take the next step. Ross, who grew up in Long Beach, California, met Jackson through a mutual friend a long time ago, and the longtime Eagles and Redskins star helped Ross learn how to use his speed most effectively, a lesson Cooks had to learn once he got to the Saints as well. "Basically just how to use my speed, when to turn it on, when to turn it up," Ross said. "Growing up, I never really knew you had to monitor that. I was basically just running out there. I was so gifted with speed, I just used that versus a lot of people, and as you get older, people get faster, a lot of people get smarter." Working with Jackson paid off for Ross, who racked up 81 catches for 1,150 yards and 17 touchdowns in 2016 and added a rushing touchdown and another kick return touchdown to his name. Now that he's on the cusp of the NFL draft, Ross has remained close with Jackson, who is a free agent this offseason, but he also has a relationship with Cooks. When Cooks was at Oregon State, he served as the host for his fellow Burner on Ross's visit to Corvallis, and the former Washington receiver tries to stay in touch with the Saints star periodically. The pair last talked 2 weeks ago. Just asked how he was doing, keeping in touch. It's always good to keep good relationships with good people, Ross said. Definitely, some similarities with Cooks, with the explosion, the catch and go, when he has the ball in space, stuff like that. Ross's speed wasn't his only impressive performance before cramps forced him to miss his second attempt at the 40 and take it easy the rest of the day. The former Washington star also turned in a combined best broad jump of 11 feet, 1 inch, another sign of his explosiveness, and leaped 37 inches vertically. His only drawback might be medical. Ross has put the torn ACL of 2015 behind him, as evidenced by his incredible 40-yard dash, but he's scheduled to have surgery on a torn labrum in his shoulder on March 14. The recovery from that surgery could take as much as 4 to 6 months. "I'll be fine for the season," Ross said. "I'll definitely be fine." Before Saturday's performance, Ross was generally considered the third-best receiver in the draft, behind Clemson's Mike Williams and Western Michigan's Corey Davis, and only NFL teams know how much weight they'll put on Ross's unbelievably fast 40. Ross is the smallest of the three, measuring in at 5'11" and 188 pounds. When a guy can move like Ross, though, a lack of size only matters so much. You just look at the history. We've got a lot of guys who set great examples, like Brandin Cooks, destined, guys like T.Y. Hilton, Emmanuel Sanders, all those guys aren't 6 foot, and they're very productive, Ross said. Antonio Brown is the highest paid receiver in the league, and he is not 6 foot. So guys that came before us set a great example on why they should give chances to a guy like me and guys who aren't as tall. Especially when they can cover 40 yards so fast that it makes scouts and coaches look at their stopwatches in disbelief.